you said you came up with the idea when you were like, when you came here yourself. So it was something you felt, obviously it was hard.
So it's very interesting, the idea how it came. So Rohit, my co-founder, you have met him
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
So we were at Columbia together,
Okay.
and I moved it. I came here in 2009, and he came here in 2010. So a year later than me, and he was doing couch surfing in my apartment because he could
Okay.
not rent an apartment. He did not have credit history. Um, so that's how we met. Like it has been long time, about 9-10 years, and me and Rohit, I moved when we were in Bay Area, like in 2015, we were trying to figure out a new business model, and I think in December 2015, we were like, oh, how we met. Let's start thinking like that. And you're like, oh, you know what? The way we met is like because Rohit was not able to rent an apartment because he did not have enough credit history.
Right.
And
Oh
then we're
wow.
like,
Okay.
and like, oh, you know what? And then it's not just us; it might be more people who are facing the same problem. So we just whipped up a website over the weekend. Actually, Rohit whipped up a website. He's like really hacky in that way. It's a very bad UI. The first version was really bad.
I want to see that
And
version. I think that'd be pretty funny though. But
uh, no, it's really bad. And then so we just started as a hypothesis, like, oh, you know what, let's see how many people are gonna face this problem. And we had this rule of thumb that we are not gonna reach out to our friends. We are gonna reach out to someone who we don't know, so that there is no bias. So we wanted to get an actual customer.
love it.
So I think in so what happened? I think in 2015, I went into San Jose State University for their career counseling, where I have been worked into industry for long enough, and I was able to tell people like how to do resume editing, how to prep for interview, and when you do all those seminars, all the students come to you and ask like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, by the way, I have this company who's helping out international students to fund their education and help them with the living expenses." So that was our initial customer base, which we did not realize. And the funny thing is, like,
Crazy.
we did all these things, and then we were not able to figure out debt capital piece because we needed money to lend out. So for a while, we were like, we are not going to do this idea because we don't have enough debt capital. So we had a website, and people knew about the website through their seminar, and everybody was talking to themselves and to each other. So, and we had given our Google Voice number there, which was linked to my phone and Rohit's phone. And I remember me and Rohit, we were coding something for some business idea, and this random call came in about, hey, do you guys still give out loans? And we were thinking like, why this call is coming to us? And we went back to our website, and then we logged in, and we saw like there were like 200, 300 people there already enrolling in it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then we were still like trying to figure out what should we do. Rohit is having more risk background from banking side, so he's like, dude, it's gonna be very tough. It's fintech, it's not tech. It's
Yep.
fintech, which is gonna be a lot more critical. And I like, oh, you know what, let's try to do it. So I think I remember still first loan I gave out from my bank account. So I wrote a check literally. I went and deposited into my in the bank account of the customer, and
Oh,
it was I think $5,000 cash to and it was for living expenses. Someone was moved, just graduated from university, and he was moving to New York. So like, oh, you know what? Let's do that. So I started getting $5,000. Then Rohit put down his saving. Then we got money from Renu, Rohit's wife, right now. She put down her saving, and then we were in a lot of debt. Then we reached out to all of our friends. We're like, look, give us money. We'll use that money to lend out further, and we'll give you some interest on top of it. Then we raised more money from our friends. So by the time we reached at Y Combinator interview, we were like broken. We did not have cash. We were
oh
in a lot
wow.
of debt,
Yep.
and it was pretty interesting and
Yeah.
stressful.
And I can imagine.